All right, so here's 3 properties that I never buy, and especially in a recession. The first one is condos. So condos has unpredictable expenses dealing with any kind of expenses related to condos, especially here in Florida. Their HOA fees are going up, or always their fees in generals are always going up. And so they could go up from 200 to 400 in 1 year, and they could give whatever excuse they want. There's nothing you could do. You're stuck with it. Ask the people in Florida what's going on with that. Townhouses, the main reason why, not only because the increase of monthly expenses go up pretty dramatically sometimes, but comps are almost impossible to get, because you could only get comps from that condo development, because remember, comps go 5 years up, 5 years down of the year build of your property that you're living in. Well, typically there's not a lot of townhouses in a townhouse development of that same caliber. So you don't have that like single family. Single family has been around since 1900. The comps, you should be able to have great comps for your property if you're going 5 years up and 5 years down. And then the other item that I always stay away from as well, and I'll give you an extra bonus, is anything pertaining to a land lease. If it's pertaining to a land lease, a manufactured home that you don't own the land, well, technically they don't even call that a manufactured home. You actually have to sell that as an RV, and you have to have a special license if you're in the state of Florida, which is similar to an RV license, because you should be able to roll that manufactured home off as well. So that's why anything with a land lease, they're only increasing, because what typically has happened is a lot of private equity groups have purchased those kind of properties, and they know they have almost like a mini monopoly, and they could just keep raising the price, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Typically in real estate, we call these the last homes. This is the last one, because typically people would just go in that property and then they'll be with Jesus or whoever they believe in until the very end. And that sucks, because that's just the way they just take advantage of it. And then the last thing that I typically like staying away from is new development HOAs. I'm trying to not purchase anything into a new development that has a HOA that's unpredictable. I'm going to look at how much has that HOA went up. I used to live in a community called Terra Largo. When I first bought in there in 2015, the HOA was $80. When I left there and had to sell it to other circumstances that was going on in my life, then that HOA fee was $380 a month. It was extremely high, and they just kept on getting higher for no reason, right? And usually it's always mismanagement, and so typically, just like the government, if they don't typically take responsibility, what they'll do is they'll just keep raising the cost on you. So those are the items that even in a recession, I always stay away from, which is, again, condos, because the unpredictability of expenses. Townhouses, they really don't have great comps. Land leases, again, unpredictability of expenses. And then even when it deals with the HOA fees that keep on raising in new developments, typically the old ones are pretty much staying right there when it deals with houses, if they're pretty low. Those are the 4 that I always think about, and this are the 4 types of properties or 3 types, but really 4, that even in a recession, I recommend staying away from. Now, if you own those type of properties, my biggest thing is don't be greedy on how much money you think you can make on the property. Just sell it for a fair price so you can get it, so you could sell it and move on, period. Those are the type of properties that I always look out for. Hopefully this helped, and if it did, my name is Franklin Cruz with TrueInvestors.com. You can leave a comment, share it, whatever you want. All right, thanks. Bye.